Driving an old car has character that a new car will never match.
Plastic.
I think the era of the subscription model is already wearing thin on people.
These things are built like tanks and they're so resilient.
Millions of Americans are switching back to old cars, and everyone knows why. Before we get started, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
These two cars in front of me are going to be the cars that are anti-surveillance in the future. These are the only cars that do not have surveillance. You know, stuff before like 2005. These cars have absolutely no devices in them. Every car that we drive now, built after a certain year, has at least some surveillance in it. After 2027, they're talking about putting cameras in your car to see if you're paying attention to the road, to see if you're drinking anything bad. And it's supposed to be in like all the cars. So I think one day these cars are going to be extremely valuable, and I'm going to start hoarding them if I can get a couple bucks. But I would say, yeah, these cars are going to be worth more than the freaking newer cars. Keep them all stored real nice. Make sure they don't get rust. These are the cars, the real cars of the future, with no surveillance on them. By 2040, I think only 3% of these older cars are going to be on the road. So in reality, these ugly beat up cars are going to be probably the most valuable cars out there in the future. Just a little theory.
I think the era of the subscription model is already wearing thin on people. I talked with someone yesterday who said they bought a 97 Toyota Land Cruiser because they'd rather have that than whatever it is car companies are churning out today. I also heard from someone who said they bought a CD player. They'd rather use that instead. You remember the Walkman? And then I saw an article about, old game consoles surging. People want to get those again. A PlayStation 2, a PlayStation, a Nintendo 64. And, I look at the world around us and I think it's a combination of things. Like, we're tired of getting nickeled and dimed just to use stuff. And maybe we're tired of being online all the time. And then, of course, there's this idea that there's nostalgia there. There's some sense of comfort in going back. I even sold a car I had that was a 2020 and got something that was made the year I graduated high school, and I'm much happier with that. So I don't know what it says, but I think people are just kind of tired of the way things are right now. And maybe this is just an element of that. Also, the economy just doesn't feel very good. Every day, layoff. Who wants to keep paying subscription fees when you could be laid off tomorrow? It's just coming from a millennial.
That these old cars have that no new car has is these things are built like tanks and they're so resilient. This thing sat for over 6 years. And look at what this thing used to look like just a couple months ago. I mean, not joking. It sat for 6 years. And the only thing I had to do to get this thing running was put a new battery in and a fuel pump. And that was it. And this thing starts, runs, and drives. We had a little uninvited guest chew through a bunch of the stuff underneath the hood here. As you can see, we got those wires chewed. And actually right down there on the transmission, that whole connector has been chewed through. You can see all the wires coming off. But this thing still runs and drives. Can you imagine a brand new car where you just start cutting the wiring harness? The car's going to freak out, it's not going to work, and it's not going to move. These old cars could operate without having all the systems connected. Where new cars, that's not really the case. Everything really needs to be connected, and if they're not, the car's really going to freak out. And that could really impact the drivability of a lot of these new cars. But these old ones, nope, doesn't really matter. It still moves, still drives, and you're good to go. And also, again, it's not nearly as catastrophic as it is on a new car when it comes to something like that.
Old cars like this prove that true engineering prioritizes resilience over complexity. Modern vehicles can fail from minor disruptions because tightly interdependent systems mean one chewed connector can immobilize the entire car. Many still prefer simplicity over complexity.
Yo, I'm sorry to bother y'all, but do you remember when cars used to make sense? Like, do y'all remember when cars were reliable? Because the cars that I drove when I was younger were cars that were passed down to me. You know what I mean? Like, they were old cars, but they were running, and you could keep them running as long as you knew what to do. You made some mistakes and you learned your lesson, but you figured out how to work on cars. And parts were easy, bro. Parts were easy. Of course, the cars were there, right? Like, they were cars that they were still making. But at the same time, There were cars that they weren't making, and you could go to a junkyard, you could find an alternative part. Like now, it got to be OEM. You can't, because the computer that's connected to the whatever and this and that, it ain't gonna work. But we ain't got deep pockets like that where I'm from. Bro, I'm going to the junkyard. I'm in high school, bro. I got a date. You know what I mean? I'm trying to fix this car on Saturday, so for Saturday night. Nowadays, bro, you can't find that kind of reliability. I just bought a car and I had to go take it back because they let me drive off the lot without the one of the battery connections being tight. What are we talking about? The car was just shutting off on the road, bro. I guess I should be happy that it didn't shut off as I was actively driving. It waited until, thank you, computer. You waited until I was at a full stop to just shut off. I appreciate that. And yeah, it was the batteries, the easy fix. I just tightened that joker down. But when I took it in, because I still did it, I still called them and I took it in. I tell them, I said, do your checks again. They do the check. Tell me why they come back and tell me some shit like, we can order this part for you. I said, part? That's what you talking about, part. He said, well, your back hatch door, on the right side is, it do seem a little bit. I said, nah, man, I mentioned that to you as like an offhanded, like, is this my eyes? Like, just check that too. Kind of like, whatever, man. I didn't expect you to come back and tell me that I needed a part for the car that I just bought from you 26 days ago. That's crazy. I guess I'm old because I'm saying they the same, bro. It's just not the same. I'm not doing it again. I already told my wife I'm not buying. This is the last time, bro. I've only had 2 brand new cars in my entire lifetime. The truck is doing me well right now, but this car right here, no, I'm done. If my car is answering to Hey Google, I don't want it. If it has a touch screen, don't need it. I want to be able to fit my hands in the engine bay. I want to be able to fit my hands with a tool in the engine bay. I want to go back to putting water in there and it's cool. I want to go back to having the most complicated thing, something that's really annoying. And it's just because I gotta rig something to get it out and I gotta like put it on a table or put it on that's what I want complicated to be. I don't want complicated to be that I need a tool that's the size of like this to be fitting in my hand like this. And I gotta fit all of that through a hole that's like this and try to connect and see, and I can't see nothing because everything's in the way. No. I'm done. Last time, bro. Last time. I'm never buying a car like that again.
I don't want to touch screens anymore. I hate it. I want dials, knobs, levers, maybe even some cranks.
Are new generational cars worse than old generational cars?
Absolutely. I think the new model vehicles, I'm going to call it like 2010 and newer, are significantly worse than vehicles that are before that for a lot of reasons. I think there's obviously more bells and whistles. There's more parts that are needing to be done here. But the whole point of these cars, newer modern cars, the whole point is to chase fuel economy. The whole point is to give you the best fuel economy that's out there. Whatever that number can be on that sticker saying, I got 25 miles to the gallon, 30 miles to the gallon, everything, even CVTs, the purpose of CVT transmissions is fuel economy. The purpose of 10-gear transmissions are fuel economy. The purpose of these new modern VVTs are purposeful purely for fuel economy. And so all these things that are just bad for your engine, that creates carbon buildup, that destroys transmissions, that create hard part replacements, that has made the last 10 years of auto repair the most expensive time to fix your vehicle, is all chasing fuel economy. Maybe I'm alone, maybe I'm not. But I will tell you that the chase for fuel economy that's happening in the automotive industry is the ultimate reason why cars are so much worse than what they were before.
Modern systems like CVTs and variable valve timing exist only to chase higher MPG, and that obsession is destroying engines and transmissions. When fuel economy stickers matter more than durability, it's no surprise drivers are switching back to older cars that simply last.
Only a select few will understand that driving an old car has character that a new car will never match. Like those little noises and squeaks that it makes when you drive it is like creme de la creme. And I mean the type of old where the dashboard's cracked a little bit, the seams are a little busted, like that's just like music to my ears. And just knowing I could pop the hood and with a little elbow grease and some hope, I can make something work. Instead of having to take it to a dealership where they have to test it and do all this other stuff with technology and crap. Like all that Hey Siri with a fat iPad in the middle, like it just doesn't do anything for me. Call me crazy, but I'd rather have an old car that's paid off with a radio that does not work than a new car with a car note that's just nothing but bells and whistles.
I recently picked up that 78 Ford Fairmont, and I really can't figure out why
We advanced past this in automotive technology. There's nothing this car doesn't have. Tells you how fast you're going. It tells you how long you can go that fast. This tells you whether you go fast forward or backwards. Multimedia entertainment. Climate control. More climate control. And even more climate control. Got 2 doors on this side, and guess what? Another 2 on the other side. 3 seats in the back. And 3 seats in the front if one of you doesn't want to wear a seatbelt. 200 angry cubic inches, sending a whopping 85 horsepower to the rear wheels. And above those rear wheels, you got plenty of storage for, spare parts and tools, dead bodies, whatever. Along with easy to replace solid bumpers. As far as I'm concerned, this is automotive perfection.
Driving old trucks will make you a better man, but it's not for the reasons that you think. I mean, you might think they're cheaper or easier, but the truth matter is they're usually neither of those two things. You see, old trucks are typically unreliable, but when you have to be reliable, it causes you to think a little bit differently. You've got to start thinking about the tools that you need. You got to start carrying them. More importantly, you got to start knowing how to use them. Something interesting happens when you start recognizing things are never going to go wrong. You just stop fearing problems. You recognize they're going to come, and you just learn how to fix them. You wouldn't get a flat on the side of the road and automatically throw the car out and say you're a horrible driver and that you're never driving again. Yet don't we do that in life, in business, in marriage? Something goes wrong and we just want to throw the whole thing out. I suppose one of the greater lessons that an old truck will teach you is not to get everything that you've ever wanted, but to want the things that you have, and to learn how to take care of them, how to maintain them, how to keep them going. That's why my boys, and I believe every boy, should drive an old truck. Because life's always going to throw you problems. You're going to find yourself on the side of the road in a number of situations. And your ability to be able to lift the hood, fix what's under there, and get back on the road as quickly as possible, is just going to separate the men from the boys.
Some car enthusiasts really do prefer older machines from the late 70s and early 80s, valuing their straightforward design and mechanical honesty over today's complex electronics. These cars feel real, repairable, and free of unnecessary complications.
Modern cars are better, but somehow less exciting. This might be a hot take, fair warning. New cars are insanely fast, I get that, but sometimes it's not about speed, or at least not all about speed. I just think older cars have more personality, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, I do love new cars, but I'm just saying, old cars, they got personality. They sound crazy. They have unique interiors, and then exteriors too. I don't know, it's just something about old cars. Everybody hates on the Porsche having the scrambled egg headlights. Those were fire to me. I might go and buy one of those one day just because they were dope. A lot of these cars have they give you a really raw feeling too. One of my dream cars is a 2008 E63 AMG. I've heard a lot of people, car guys even, talk shit on that, just because it's ugly or whatever. It's still an AMG, but they don't like the way it looks. It's one of my favorite looking AMGs ever. Never really been one to care too much about other people's opinions though, so the things that make it unique are what make me like it. The fact that it's different and it's not loved by everybody honestly might make me want the car more. It's kind of like my opinion on the BMW i8. I don't have one. Everybody hates them. I like them because how they look, and people hating on them so much makes me like it a little more. I believe my grandfather had a 62 Chevelle, and that car just changed my opinion on how I feel about old cars. I've never had that feeling replicated for me in any car I've been in since. And yeah, dude, modern cars are nice, but older cars have more character, and that character is what makes them more exciting.
That's one thing that old cars do better than new cars.
They last.
Okay.
Old cars last.
Why do they last more or longer?
They're built a lot better.
Less electronics?
Yeah, way less stuff to break.
Old cars seem to last longer, maybe, and they look pretty nice. There's some nice old cars out there.
Mm-hmm.
Chevelles, Mach 1s, Mustangs.
What's your favorite old car?
Probably a Chevelle. Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
In my honest opinion, with the electronics, they don't cost as much, and you normally fix it on your own. And the newer age now, you have to have all these electronical components.
The electronics do make things nice.
They do.
But they make it harder to work on.
Yes.
Yo, can we talk about these new cars? Why does every new car look so ugly? Every single one looks like it's supposed to be for some fucking futuristic movie or something. I get it, technology and the future is here, and we have self-driving cars, and we have batteries and stuff now instead of engines because they're trying to get rid of engines. But do they have to make it the ugliest piece of shit ever? Like, look at a 1969 Mustang versus a new car that came out in 2026 or 27. What is in the air at these companies that they're breathing? Because it must be something toxic. Because how are they coming up with this and thinking that it looks good? It does not.
It's crazy to me how we went from having stuff like this and this to this right here. These new cars are not going to last like these old cars used to. This Volvo is from 1988. And I don't see anything wrong with it. Why can't we build cars this simplistic anymore? Give me an analog gauge cluster. Give me a simple radio I can upgrade in and out and it's not going to be an issue. Give me a key, because that way I know it's just going to last forever. It's going to be simple if I need to do anything to it. It has all the creature comforts you're going to want. It even has heated seats in 1988. Think about that. You got a 4-speed manual. Go through all the gears. Yeah, it still goes through all the gears. That's pretty good. They were just built like tanks. They're built to last. They'll go forever. 282,000 miles. That one has 250,000 miles. And like, look at them. They just look so good. They're so simplistic. They're just utilitarian. They're not anything more than they need to be. It's just a piece of transportation for you to go from A to B. But that's all you need to do.
There's something almost rebellious about an old Volvo still doing its job after 250,000 miles, while some modern cars start falling apart under warranty.
Here's why I think cars that were built 20 years ago are better than modern day cars. From what we see in our experience, we see that nowadays there's way more plastic on cars than obviously metal. Plastic obviously is to reduce weight, easier to manufacture obviously when it comes to putting cars together and stuff like that. The downside of that, easy to break, easy to get damaged, a lot of plastic, cheaper labor and stuff like that. Number two, the metals they're using nowadays in cars is also cheaper than what they was using 20 years ago. So that is also a big issue. Cheaper metals equals breaking quickly, damages quickly, and stuff like that. So in my opinion, I think cars that were built 20 years ago are much more solid. That's why they last longer. That's why they're not in the scrapyard. They may need repairs like that one over there, but they won't end up in the scrapyard.
Old car versus new car.
Quiet, luxurious V8. If it's not loud, how will they know it's a V8? 4-speed automatic. Why is there 10 gears? Why is there 10 of anything? Adult turn signals. Teenage angst. Halogens. My headlights are Jesus! Bench seat. Heated and cooled seats. If I had a butt, I'm sure I'd like it. Map light. We got RGB Gamer MLG Pro. I'm driving a brothel. Ponies.
What's stupid about new cars? Lots of things are stupid about new cars, but this is one of them. Do you know how long this would take if it was just on a lever? Stupid.
There are 5 reasons why I love old cars and why I think you should too. Number 2, they don't build them like they used to, and your wallet knows it. Back in the day, things were built to last decades, and if something did go wrong, you could normally see it, reach it, and fix it. Today, manufacturers have swapped durability for disposability and called it progress. Modern engines with timing chains that are not even reaching 50,000 miles. We won't even get started on the wet belt situation. Yes, modern cars are more efficient and packed with tech, but somewhere along the way, profit overtook pride in manufacturing. I did the rocker cover gasket on this recently, and the chain is still solid 120,000 miles later. They don't make cars like they used to, and that's the problem.
Average modern car, plastic. I mean, even this tailgate has a lot of composite. Meanwhile, old school vehicles, pretty much everything, I mean, that's not metal, but the rest of it. But Ben, plastic doesn't rust. Okay, cool story, bro.
Old school Chevy versus new school Chevy. Which one's better? Old school Chevy has a steel body. New school Chevy has a fiberglass body. Old school Chevy has chrome throughout the full body, right here, right there, and all through the trim. And new school Chevy either has fiberglass as trim pieces or they swap them out for carbon fiber. New school Chevy has forged lightweight wheels with carbon ceramic big brakes. Yeah, these things stop on a dime. Old school Chevy keeps it classic with aluminum. Super simple, but yeah, looks so good. I mean, look how meaty these tires are. To fill up a classic Chevy with gas, you actually fill it up right behind the license plate where the fill neck would normally be, but I actually relocated mine in the trunk. And new school Chevy is just plain and simple. New school has a 5.5 liter flat plane crank V8 pushing 670 horsepower. Old school Chevy has a 454 big block motor stroked out to a 496 with a 671 root style supercharger making 670 horsepower. But in reality, these things only came with the Chevy 350 and they made about like 150 horsepower. But back in the day, that was pretty fast. Now let's see who has the better exhaust. First up, new school Chevy. Now old school Chevy. Give me 1 second. Old school Chevy interior is easy, it's simple, it's analog. Everything is manual, including the transmission, 3 pedals down there, and the roll-up doors. And one thing that's going to be missed for a very long time is this manual transmission, but that's what builds its character. Also with these fun dice and dice here. New school Chevy came through with this interior because it's honestly top notch. You have leather wrapped all around, you have Apple CarPlay, all the tech, every single bell and whistle you possibly need for a car, new Chevy has. Paddle shifters for shifting, which means that there is no manual transmission, which will be a make or break for a lot of people. So what do you think about new school Chevy only making automatic transmissions? New school Chevy costs about $120,000. Old school Chevy only costs $3,000. So now I gotta know, which one are you taking? Let me know in the comments.
The modern Corvette is faster, safer, and packed with every gadget imaginable. Yet the old Camaro still wins for a lot of people because it actually involves you in the drive. For some people, this is really more important.
If I had to choose a 10-year period where they made the best cars, I would say that the best cars were made between 2005 and 2015. They were modern enough to have good safety, good technology, but weren't complicated at all. You had the GPS, the backup camera, the cruise control, the Bluetooth, naturally aspirated engines. You didn't have softwares controlling everything. And I remember when having a screen in your car was a flex. Now every interior looks the same. Technology is ruining cars. A 2026 Kia has the same technology, luxury than a $100,000 2026 BMW. I miss when cars were less complicated, when luxury cars were actually luxury cars. You had physical buttons, V8s and AMGs, and cars had way more personality. And I believe the 05 to 2015 era was the best mix. Let me know if you disagree.
You have to be a special type of idiot to decide, hey, yo, I am going to buy a brand new vehicle in 2026. It makes no sense. You have to be a complete idiot to do something like that, right? Because this is the reason why you're doing it. It's for the flex. That's why you're doing it. You wake up, you go to the dealership, you say, oh, I'm going to get a 2026, 2027 vehicle. Because when somebody asks you what car it is, or when somebody looks at your car, you'll be like, oh, that's interesting. What type of, what car is that? You're going to say, oh, 2026 Nissan Altima. 2026 BMW S-Class. No one gives a fuck. No one cares what year your vehicle is. No one cares if you're driving a beater or if you're driving a luxury vehicle. What you should be worried about is how expensive your car is, all right? And what's your insurance, okay? And last but not least, are the parts easy to replace? I got my car, BMW 2021 330i, right? It's a 5-year-old vehicle. 5-year-old vehicle. All the parts are easy to switch out. All the parts are easy to switch out. I can go to my mechanic right now. He switch out all the parts easy. I will not struggle. He will get it done the same day. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? No one cares if my car is 8 years old, 20 years old. No one cares, right? It's functional and it's beautiful in there. Here, I have the ambient lights and the leather seats and there's a lot of space in the back. It's a great car. I have no issues with the car, right? But you see a car, the first thing you do is say, oh, my car is breaking down. I should spend $90,000 to $140,000 on the latest and greatest car. Bro, shut the fuck up. And what's crazy is the newer cars are harder to fix than the older cars because they have way too much electronics in it. I'm seeing new vehicles come out with 2-3 screens on them, ambient lighting on the roof and on the dashboards and everywhere, right? You see, hearing a bunch of electronics. Every time you move to the left and move to the right, the more electronics your vehicle has, the harder it is to fix, the more expensive it is to fix. Get a vehicle that is at least 4 years old with a low mileage and easy to get parts. That's it. Save yourself the money. And if you are someone that cares about flexing, right? If you are someone that cares about flexing, I want to remind you that these girls that you're trying to chase after, they don't know what year your vehicle is. As long as it's not like at 8 years old or something like that, 8 to 10 years old or older, they won't know what year your car is. If you're that materialistic, if you're that superficial, if you really think women care like that, because there are a select few group of women out there who are just useless and only want to be with a man if he has the latest and greatest stuff, they won't know. If you got the ambient lighting, and if you got the Bluetooth, and if your car moves well, they won't know. All right, be safe.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next videos.